And we're live here in Nourish, Heal, and Thrive. I'm really excited to bring you Michelle. Michelle and I met through Paul, who you met yesterday, and we've kind of done some healing work together, but we never really got to know each other. So this is exciting for me, and I can't wait to learn more about you, Michelle. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for the invitation. I was so excited.
Okay, awesome. Why don't we start off by just sharing who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
My name's Michele Hargreaves. I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And what do I do is always an interesting question to ask. I think that question depends on who I'm talking to. I've traveled through so many different modalities and careers now over my time, but the label I really like to use is either DJ or purpose driven growth coach are the two I kind of play with.
I love that. And I kind of had this thought as you were saying that you're kind of like a maybe you're doing music as a DJ, but you're also kind of a DJ like in your healing because you I don't know. I don't know what
Oh, I like that.
uh,
Yeah, because I have to move, well, not have to, but I'm able to move through so many different modalities depending on who I'm working with for sure. I really like that. Yeah, disc jockey of healing energies.
yeah, yeah. Something like that. So how'd you get started into like some of these modalities and or well maybe we'll get to DJing later, but how'd you get started into your healing journey?
Yeah, most people wouldn't believe, but I used to be a really, really angry person. If you knew me now, you would never guess that was in my history, but that's definitely where it started. I have a 21-year-old. My daughter will be 21 in a couple of days. And when I got pregnant with her is when I really noticed my anger had come to full front. And there was this moment where she was 6 months old, kind of exploring some food in her mouth, and the inner rage I had that this baby wouldn't eat this food I was giving her. And that was my first big outburst that I had that left me sitting in a room going, what do I do about this? And leading up to that point, I had already explored anger management and counseling. I had been in and out of different kind of treatment things over high school, and nothing ever really worked. And I had gone to this crystal shop, and while I was at this crystal shop, this lady had handed me a card and said, "I feel like you're going to need this one day." And that was the day. It was so kismet. I literally was sitting in this room by myself, and I'd put my hands in my pocket just trying to regroup and pulled out this meditation group card. And that's where it started 20 years ago. Meditation changed my life. Being able to actually process my insides in a closed-eyed way instead of somebody telling me what I should be processing based on whatever books they were reading at that time. And yeah, it just went from there. I ended up ripping through meditation, Vipassana. I've done 3 silent retreats. Health coach, I'm a certified health coach. I'm an early childhood educator, so lots of human development stuff. Reiki master. It's like I've just spent the last 20 years eating up whatever I could, psychedelics, traveling. It's just all been a part of the mix of my growing. The biggest turn though was finding magnetic minds 3 or 4 years ago, and the group that I now get to interact with, you being one, Paul being one for sure. That was the biggest. It took everything that I had learned in all those modalities, and almost like that first meditation brought it back to something that was in my control, to learn that I was the predominant creator. I could stop looking at all of these other things to fix myself. Yeah.
That's a amazing journey. I had no idea you had issues being with anger and all that stuff because you
Yeah.
never seem you never seem like anything would make you angry.
No, I definitely shine bright light out of my soul now, but man, my parents could tell you some stories.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So so looking back at that angry person, what would you tell her or what would yeah, what would you
Oh,
do?
Gosh, my biggest thing I would say to her is that Flossom is okay. You know, that it's okay. I don't know what I would tell her. That's actually a really good question. It's probably one thing I still need to maybe go and dig in. But yeah, it was just all that. I think the sooner that we can find a way to grow into our adulthood and not be stuck in our child. Because definitely in my early 20s, my anger was from all my miss whatevers from my childhood, and probably some karma coming in there from some other lives and other things. But yeah, I think for anybody, the sooner you can find your inner self, your inner truth, just helps tame almost any beast around you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and now you're into DJing. So,
Yeah.
how did that all start?
Yeah. Well, so going through all these things, I really had it in my mind. I spent 20 years in early childhood education. So I had a really long, successful career. I built an award-winning childcare program here in Alberta. I won Alberta's Childcare Award of Distinction in 2013. I had an award-winning daycare. I had all the check boxes. I had a really great marriage. I had two kids, a boy and a girl. I had all these things that I was told would make me happy in my life, all these achievements, but I could almost feel that rumbling of that anger girl coming in, that restlessness that I knew I wasn't living the right life. And so health coaching was my next step from there. I had gained a bunch of weight and, was also in a shell that didn't feel quite like mine. And so I'm an A-type personality. When I want to do something, I go get a certification to do it. And so health coaching was my path for a long, long time. And I sunk almost $50,000 over 4 years trying to launch myself as a health coach. I rented a room here in Calgary. I like a Reiki health coach. I wanted to mix the two. And so I rented a room here in Calgary. I did a home office. I tried the online. I tried groups. I tried all these things. And it was just so full of so much resistance. But what I had learned with Magminds, the power of holding a vision. So my vision was to work anywhere in the world from my laptop. And so, Chris and Magminds teaches us this really beautiful practice of holding your vision and creating creative tension by coming back, to today to create this tension with your future vision. And so I'd been doing that for 3 years. I'd go into my vision anywhere in the world of my laptop, felt good, scenery always changed, come back to today. But I was setting my own egoic agenda in my answer to today for almost 3 years. I'd come back to today and be like, well, I get that by health coaching. And I just kept trying to force this health coaching thing. And then about 2 years ago, February 2 years ago, I was sitting in my vision, but now I was mad. I'm in my vision and I'm like, what am I missing? Like, my vision's perfect. Like, why is this not working for me? And when I stilled myself, right, I yelled at my vision and then I stilled myself to allow the vision to percolate again. And I realized there was music coming out of out of my computer, not Zoom calls, not people. There was music. I could see this music coming out of it. And I had been a hobbyist DJ for almost 10 years. Um, and just because a friend of mine needed a girl DJ once, and I was like, I don't DJ. And he's like, it's okay, I'll teach you. I just need a girl tonight. It was a bachelorette party. They did not want a boy. And so he taught me some basic skills. And from there, I kind of picked up odd cash once in a while. I'd do one gig every 3 or 4 months. And I liked it, but I grew up with a mother that was not a career, right? Being a DJ was not something she would be proud of me. And so then with this vision this one day, noticing that the music was coming out of my computer, I came back to my tension of today and in comparison to the music, what was life like? And that's when I had my first spark. I was like, well, I really enjoy it. Oh, and the gigs seem to find easy. Oh, and I just found out my husband's a DJ too. And since then, we're now 2.5 years. We're 27 months this month into developing our business, Subsonic Soulmates. And My husband and I now, as of this year, we just did our taxes. We have a six-figure company, a six-figure DJ company that we do together. We travel together. We have all this fun. We get to go create parties for people, and yeah, it's just become such a life of abundance and joy. And it was like magic. It was like magic. As soon as I listened to the vision and paid attention to the message it was giving me, almost overnight, we created this incredible company that just is opening so many doors for us.
Wow, wow. That I love you were lighting up so much when you were talking about that you could totally tell that this is your, direction that you need to keep going in because it's beautiful. It's
Even if you
amazing.
rewound it all the way back, like I went to my first rave. I'm a 40-year-old raver. I will be a raver for life. And I went to my first rave when I was 14. And I think that's where the stigma started that, there couldn't be a life there. And granted, I'm glad everything happened the way it did because I can now party and rave sober in where I am now today, where had I tried to pursue these avenues back in my early 20s in my rage states, I'm sure I would have found a heavy dependence on substances and stuff in this industry. But coming to it now with all the healing and everything I've done, we're even starting to look at introducing healing house into the yoga studios. We've got this thing we're creating right now with ecstatic dance and binary beats and music. So, yeah,
That sounds amazing.
it's super neat. We love it.
Yeah, I love Paul and I met through Awakening Dynamics where we do movement. And I think like, bringing the music into the movement is just it's so healing and just in general. So I
So
love this
healing.
whole idea.
Yeah, and to be able to mix some somatic breathing and some kundalini movement and some binary beats, and to offer music that is positive and lifting and lighthearted instead of a lot of what we listen to on the radios.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's a really neat journey we're on. And like I said, soon as I got clear on my vision, but got clear on listening to my intuition instead of my egoic agenda creating my tether for today, that's when the magic happened. That's when the doors open and continue to keep opening. And I remember Chris Duncan talking about building an elf business, easy, fun, and lucrative. And that really stuck with me because health coaching at that 3-4 year marker was not feeling easy, fun, or lucrative. And and like I said, soon as I paid attention to the music, this has been easy, fun, and lucrative. I get to celebrate $5,000 days. And I remember wishing for that in coaching and now landing a bride and groom for, or a wedding couple for a day and they're paying me $5,000 to come for the day. You're just like, yeah, okay, thank you, universe. Like,
Yeah, that's amazing. And so do you still do coaching or anything, or are you just focusing on the DJing now?
that's been my big conundrum this year because I felt the success kind of fall into place last year. And so I started building. We have a down season, obviously, with DJs. We don't do much January to June, May, June. So I figured it was time for me to step into my coaching again because I had this new, like super proof of the work process working, the creative process working. Um, so I started building my website and thinking I was getting back into coaching, but I kind of fell into the same trap again. There was a lot of restriction in it. So when I visioned my coaching, yes, I want to coach other people into this. Whether or not I'm going to do the work to advertise myself that way, I haven't quite decided. I have all the structure there, but I figure the right people will find me. That as my message of what we're doing continues to broaden and, the right people that are looking for whether it's music coaching or creative coaching, I'm leaving that door open still. What I really learned in this last part of the creative process is the power of surrendering. surrendering to what the universe has in store for giving you instead of hyper planning all of the next steps that you think will bring your result to you.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if I'm trying to find my purpose, so then the next step would be just to surrender into it, or what's the practical
Then
step?
I think the next step is to make sure you're really clear on vision. The power for me was being able to be really clear on vision, because no matter where I was or what got presented to me, it was really easy for me to just stop, close my eyes, get into my vision of working anywhere in the world in my laptop. And then coming back to today, and in comparison with this offer that's being given to me, is it in alignment with that vision?
Yeah.
And I realized with the daycare, so back to the daycare, I was doing all of these things without even knowing I was doing it. When I graduated from school, I said I was going to build an award-winning daycare. And then I started looking, in the right building found. And I remember sketching the inside of the building on a napkin sitting outside of it. And when I went to go see the building, what I had sketched on the napkin was in that building. And so we did all the work. And then 5 years later, I won, right? Award winning daycare, but I didn't have a second tether. Like, what next? After I win award winning daycare, I didn't have a next step. And legit, I kid you not, within within 9 months of me winning award-winning daycare, I lost it all. I lost my daycare, I lost my marriage, I was bankruptcy. I like within 9 months, I went from award-winning daycare to a one-bedroom apartment in somebody's basement with nothing. Like it was so insane. And now, later in life, learning all these different processes, had I had one more tether, so as soon as I accomplished this one, the next tether could take its place. So, my other vision, I went a little further out because I do believe for you to really understand what you want to do today, you should really understand what you want to do in retirement. When time and money is no longer your main focus, like what does that life look like next? And so my other vision, other than working anywhere in the world from my laptop, is LAN and a van. And when I stand on that vision, I'm literally like in front of a sea can with a balcony overlooking my mountain and water with a suitcase in my hand.
Oh, nice.
So, so my visions are very, for me, they're very like, do you know what I mean? They don't have any, nothing about that says DJ or health coach or anything, but with the power of creating creative tension, using the creative process with your vision and allowing silence, allowing instinct and intuition to fill silence instead of thought and ego, and taking that action that intuition asks you each day. It uh it's it's a weird world because of course I'm with a bunch of corporate people that are like, what are your strategic plans?
Right.
I'm like, my strategic plan is to do my 5 step every day.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I don't know if a bank will give me any loans with that, but it's working. So,
Yeah. Let's keep doing what's working.
yeah,
Michelle,
yeah.
this has been great. Is there anything you want to share that we maybe didn't get to?
Um, no, I would say a final message would just be to just know that you don't need to fix yourself. Two of my mentors, Darren Hardy and Chris Duncan, both really drove that home for me. And I realized while I was chasing all my other modalities, I was doing it to fix myself. But you don't need to fix yourself. You're flawsome. Darren Hardy calls us flawsome. You're flawed and awesome all at the same time, and you deserve to have whatever it is your heart desires today. But a lot of us don't take the time to really listen to what our heart's desiring. We're more in our think and our ego. And so just getting aligned with your true self and embracing your creative power to be able to act on what lights you up. Oprah talks about the heart spark and paying attention, listening to where your heart sparks. And mine was always, soon as music's on or a dance floor is in front of me, my heart is just like exploding into the room. So those little things, you might ignore them. I ignored it. Music and dancing was just a luxury piece, not not a true purpose for me. But as soon as I started moving that, life beyond that just became limitless for me. So, in all of that, the message was don't fix yourself,
Yeah.
just get aligned with your true self. And I think you'll find the magic that will come after that.
Yeah, I love that. And going back to your health coaching, I think aligning yourself with what you truly want to be is very healing, right?
Oh,
Yeah, it heals all your ailments.
so healing. Because I know this is kind of a weight loss group too. It heals in that I didn't change any of my eating, I didn't change any of my exercise, but now because it's almost like my heart was driving my metabolism because I was getting up every day excited to do what I was doing. Like I've dropped 17 pounds without doing anything else. This is my new me, and I would call myself voluptuous. I enjoy cheesecake and those kind of things. And my body just continues to naturally be in a more homeostasis kind of spot that I'm happy with. I'm not wishing I was something else. So, yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Michelle, thank you for doing this. This has been great. Um, and we're going to have you put links in the comments here so people can, maybe if you want to get some coaching from Michelle, or if you're interested in her DJ service, whatever it is, you'll be able to contact Michelle through the links here. And whatever else you want to share, you're welcome to share, Michelle.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I'm
we're,
not opposed to coaching. So if my message resonates with you, it's just not my primary focus I'm pushing on right now. But I know coaching is going to come back in my sphere, especially because I do have an easy, fun, lucrative business now. And yeah, definitely want to share that with others.
yeah,
Thank you so much, Derek, for this platform. I've been so inspired because I too tried to build a group, and to watch you build yours, it's been amazing to watch.
oh, thank you so much. And we're so glad you're a part of this. And yeah, if you're watching and you resonate with Michelle, definitely check out her links. And if you have questions for her, put them in the comments and we'll get them answered. And if you like what we're doing here in Nourish, Heal, and Thrive, comment interview and we'll set up an interview for you so you can share your gifts, so you can shine, you get an audience and a stage. And even if you just need some support, maybe you're struggling and need that extra support, we're here for you. So thanks, everyone. Thank you, Michelle, and we'll see you at the next one.
Thank you.